Start. Good morning, students. So let us look at the next topic in our EMT module 3. So in the previous class, we considered reflection of a plane wave at the boundary of a perfect conductor and dielectric. So the incidence in the previous class that we considered is normal incidence. Okay, normal incidence. So incidence is of two types, normal incidence, oblique incidence. So in this topic we consider oblique incidence. So now first you understand what is normal incidence, what is oblique incidence. So this is our topic, reflection of a plane wave at oblique incidence. So first we understand what is normal incidence, then we go for oblique incidence. Okay. So if you let us go to the previous figure of the previous class. Now you see, this is the figure. Suppose this is the propagation axis. I have not drawn it, just assume this one. The line I am drawing by simply taking the pen without drawing the line, like this one. So if this is the propagation axis, so if the wave is coming such that it is parallel to the propagation axis or it is making 0 degree with the propagation axis, then it is called normal incidence. So for normal incidence, the reflected wave is also parallel, transmitted wave is also parallel to the propagation axis. Okay, so reflected wave also makes 0 degree with the propagation axis, transmitted wave also makes 0 degree with the propagation axis. So such a incidence is called normal incidence. Clear? Now what we do? We look for another case where the incident wave is making an angle with the propagation axis. So here you see, this is the propagation axis, this is our what? As usual, z is equal to 0 axis or the boundary. So now here this is the incident wave. The incident wave is now making an angle with the propagation axis. So this is called oblique incidence. So if the incident wave is making an angle, so automatically what will happen? The reflected wave will also make an angle, transmitted wave will also make an angle. So this is called oblique incidence. Clear? So this is what here is written. When a plane wave is incident at an angle to the boundary of two medium, then the reflection and transmission will occur at some angle. Because the incidence is at an angle to the boundary, it is called oblique incidence. Okay, so whatever I told you, simple definition is written here. So now what here we do is, for oblique incidence, because angle is there, so now what happens? Now the propagation constant will have 3 coordinates. Okay, what are the 3 coordinates? X, Y, Z. So initially if it was along X, then other coordinates were 0. But now because it is making an angle, so what will happen? The resultant will have 3 coordinates. So what are our 3 coordinates? X coordinate, Y coordinate, Z coordinate. So the propagation constant is now called the propagation vector, because the propagation constant will have 3 coordinates. So it becomes a vector. So what is the vector? Kxx, Ky Ay, Kz Az. Kx propagation constant in x direction, Ky propagation constant in y direction, Kz propagation constant in z direction. Ax, Ay, Az were what? You know, unit vectors. So similarly, let us first start with the incident wave. So incident wave, which I am denoting Ki, propagation constant incident wave or propagation vector of incident wave. This is what? Transmitted at an angle. So this is the propagation vector of transmitted wave. This is what? Reflected at some angle. So this is the propagation vector of reflected wave. So if I consider k is equal to kxx, ky, ay, kz, az, then what will happen to the 3 propagation vectors? Ki will become what? Like this. ki1ax, ki2ay, ki3az. Similarly, kt will be kt1ax, kt2ay, kt3az. Similarly, kr will be kr1ax, kr2ay, kr3az. Okay, so all the three propagation vectors I have defined. Ki for incident wave, kr for reflected wave, kt for transmitted wave. Now you remember this propagation vector is also called as wave number vector. Okay, so propagation vector, another name is wave number vector. So here you have to find out the electric and magnetic field. So directly we look at the format solution. So what is the general format of electric field or oblique incidence? We write E r of t. R is the radius. Okay, or you can simply say what is your r? Differential length, if you recall. Okay, the differential length. So look here, for oblique incidence, electric field, what is the general format? E r of t is equal to E0 cos k dot r minus omega t. So this is your cos omega t, you know, in terms of AC. Xm equal to x0 cos or sin omega t. So this is the new term k dot r. So this you have to remember. Okay, propagation vector, dot product, radius vector. Now if you consider radius, so I told you what is this r. This r is your differential length. So what is the formula for differential length? Xax, Yay, Zaz. So that is why r vector is written as Xax, Yay, Zaz. Okay. So similarly, what is the magnetic field? Magnetic field is equal to 1 by omega mu into propagation vector cross product with electric field. So with electric field, if you cross product this particular term 1 by omega mu into k, then you will get the magnetic field. Okay, so these are the corresponding values of electric field and magnetic field for a oblique incidence. Okay, so now you look at the figure. So theta I is the incidence angle created, theta r is the reflected angle created, theta t is the transmitted angle created. Okay, so again I am revising. If a plane wave is incident at some angle to the propagation axis, then some part is reflected at some angle, some part is transmitted at some angle. So this type of incidence is called oblique incidence. When the incident, reflected, transmitted all make an angle with the propagation axis, then this is called a oblique incidence. So for oblique incidence, first you define two vectors, the propagation vector and the radius vector or the distance vector. So why propagation vector? Because I told you here we are defining propagation constant for normal incidence, but when we consider this oblique incidence, the propagation is at an angle. So this will, when you resolve this in components, it is having all three components, x component, y component, z component. So that is why here the propagation constant is defined in terms of a vector. This propagation vector is similar to the propagation constant. Okay, propagation constant in normal incidence is propagation vector in oblique incidence. Because in normal incidence there is only one coordinate, so you define the constant. But because in oblique incidence there are three coordinates, so we define a vector. So what is the k vector? Kxx, kyay, kzaz. Clear? So since we are having three things, incidence, reflection, transmission, so we are defining three vectors, incidence, reflection, okay, and transmission. Incidence, reflection, transmission, three propagation vectors, each for incident wave, reflected wave, transmitted wave. Okay, and this propagation vector is also told as what? Also called as what? Wave number. And what is the format you have to remember? Electric field is dependent on radius and time. Radius is the distance vector. So distance vector means it is differential length. So r is equal to xax, yay, zaz. So ERT is equal to E0 cos k dot r minus omega t, propagation vector dot product with distance vector. And how you get the magnetic field? Simply you cross product k by omega mu, that is propagation vector, omega angular velocity, mu is what? Permeability. So this quantity, when you take the cross product with electric field, will give you the magnetic field. Okay. And from the figure you can check theta E is the incidence angle, theta T is the transmission angle, theta R is the reflected angle. So this goes for your oblique incidence. Okay. Now you look at one parameter we define here is called your what? Na standing wave ratio. Okay. So standing wave ratio is defined as, okay, for normal incidence. Similarly, we can define for oblique incidence also. So what is the standing wave ratio? Now, suppose we are considering a perfect conductor. Let us consider the normal incidence case. So what I told you in the previous class, when a wave is incident or normally incident to a perfect conductor, when the medium 2 is a perfect conductor, what will happen? There will be no transmission coefficient equal to 0. Already we derived this in the previous class. Transmission coefficient is 0 for a perfect conductor. So total wave that is incident will be reflected. There will be no transmission. So the combination of total reflected wave and total incident wave is called a standing wave. Okay, so that is why the definition is here. When in case of normal incidence a perfect conductor is considered, there is no transmission, the total wave is reflected, the totally reflected wave combined with the incident wave is called the standing wave. Okay, so for standing wave a ratio is defined, that is called the standing wave ratio. Okay, so what is the standing wave ratio? Standing wave ratio is given as S is equal to voltage or electric field voltage maximum by electric field voltage minimum. Similarly, magnetic field strength maximum, magnetic field strength minimum. So standing wave ratio is equal to electric field intensity or voltage maximum value, electric field intensity or electric field voltage minimum value. Similarly, magnetic field intensity maximum value, magnetic field intensity minimum value. So this is equal to how much? 1 plus reflection coefficient modulus by 1 minus reflection coefficient modulus. So this is the standing wave ratio. So clear what is standing wave and what is standing wave ratio? So again I am repeating. So whenever, let us consider normal incidence first. So whenever a wave is coming in normal incidence and suppose medium 2 is a perfect conductor, then what happens? The wave strikes at the boundary, and because no dielectric is there, or because the medium 2 is a perfect conductor, there will be no transmission coefficient will be 0. So whatever the wave is incident, the total wave will be reflected. So when we take the combination of incident wave plus reflected wave, the total combination is called a standing wave. Okay, so for standing wave we define a standing wave ratio. What is the standing wave ratio? A standing wave ratio is simply the value of maximum electric field intensity or electric field voltage divided by the minimum electric field intensity or electric field voltage is equal to maximum magnetic field intensity by minimum magnetic field intensity. So this value is equal to 1 plus reflection coefficient divided by 1 minus reflection coefficient. Okay, so now how this is coming, this you try it out. Okay, otherwise I will derive, because already I give you the formula in the previous class. In normal incidence, what is your E max by E min, what is your H max by H min. Okay, So if you recall, plus sign for maximum value, minus sign for minimum value. Okay, I will give you as a hint. So you try it out, how S equal to 1 plus reflection coefficient modulus by 1 minus reflection coefficient modulus. If not, then I will derive it. Okay, it is a task for you. So in this topic, I think you are clear what we discussed. We discussed two cases. First one is oblique incidence reflection. Second one is standing wave ratio. Okay, so oblique incidence reflection, what we did, now we first defined what is oblique incidence. In a figure we represented the oblique incidence. Then what we did, we defined the propagation vector. We defined propagation vector for incident, reflected, transmitted wave. We derive the electric field intensity formula. We write the magnetic field intensity formula. We define the angles. Clear? And in standing wave ratio, what we are doing, we are considering the normal incidence. We are considering the case of a perfect conductor. Remember, standing wave is formed only in case of a medium 2 is a perfect conductor. So we are taking the combination of reflected and incident wave. The total wave is called a standing wave, and we are defining the standing wave ratio. Okay, so let us complete here. We go on to the next class and take on the subsequent topics. Thank you. Okay.